All right, Seth, let's get into it, my man. This video on the right, you are 9093 in spring training of 2024. And the video on the left is from 2021, I believe. You were 9296. Again, you're also coming back from Tommy John in this video, so I'm not surprised that the velocity is a little bit down, not to mention you're in a backfield midday, so totally normal. So I'm super pumped that you're actually able to pitch again. This is great. But I did notice a couple kinks in the chain that I think can help you get back up to not only where you were in 2021, but possibly even higher. So let's hop into it. So for the first part of your delivery, the video, I'm gonna go over the video that you just sent me, and then we'll do some comparison on the left from 3 years ago. Okay. All right, buddy. Here we go. So the first part, when we talk about the drift phase, I want to see that center of mass moving forward as we lift our leg. Okay, so decent job. Yeah, pretty good drift there. No problems, no complaints there. Yeah, great. And the next part is the loading phase, which is where we're thinking about dropping in that back heel or catching the glute, also known as your hinge. So let's check out that part. Yeah, good hinge right there. Love it. Now, the next part is the drive phase. We're basically holding tension in that back leg, as you can see here, keeping our head back, center with our body at a minimum as we continue to move forward. So decent job here, no complaints whatsoever. And then the unloading phase or the rotation phase is where we want to unload those hips and let them rotate into front foot strike. And you can see you do a pretty good job here. Because by the time the front foot completely lands, you can see the belt is open or slightly open towards the target. One thing I must mention, because we're going to move on to the block phase of the delivery, as far as landing goes, okay? When we land our delivery, see how you're landing on the ball of your foot? The reason that's bad is because as you continue to go forward, your foot is going to start to come down. Whereas if you landed on the midfoot, you wouldn't continue to go forward. You would start to plant and then rotate around that. So watch this video right here as I go 1 click, 2 click, 3 click, 4 click. So you see how you've continued to move forward and now you're almost on top of your front leg. So yeah, just something that we can start to work on. Not the lowest hanging fruit I want to focus on, but just to keep in the back of your mind, we'll continue to be aware of that. So moving on to the from the foot plant, are you stabilizing the front leg? Yes, great job here. And then you do have a lead leg block going on, which starts about when the elbow is about right there. So if you see there, elbow gets right before max layback, you got a nice little lead leg block there. So so far so good as far as the lower body goes, and those are those initial stages. So we got the drift, we got the load, we got the drive, and then we got the unloading phase, okay? Now, one thing I want to mention is after talking about those 4 things, yes, I said they were all good, but let's take a look at the back foot, okay? Now, this is on your breakdown that we've gone over. We talked about, does the back foot stay connected to the rubber or to the ground? Not the rubber, to the ground or close to it as you go into ball release. And you can see here, clearly your foot's way off the ground. So that signals to me that there's a segmentation problem. All right, so if those 4 things that I just went over are pretty good, let's go up to the upper part of the chain or the upper body and see what's going on and see if we can find the issue. And what I'm seeing is the handbrake is good. All right, you're braking your hands as soon as the leg goes down. All right, that's awesome. So there's some good timing. I will say this. Normally you have a lot more tilt and the glove goes a little bit higher, and I'll show you this on this video. So I'm not used to seeing your glove go as low. And not only that, by the time it gets out, it comes right back in. So it's not out very far. It goes out and then right back in. And the reason that's problematic is because you're not giving your torso enough time to stay sideways while the hips rotate underneath. And what that's going to cause is poor segmentation between the torso and the hip, or really the upper body and the hip. Okay, so you'll see here as I go a couple clicks down, once you get to full flip up, you can see the chest is already slightly open. And then if I watch the arm and the back hip, they are now rotating towards home together. All right. So in our delivery, we want to be able to have time between each parts of our delivery. So the kinematic sequence, which I've gone over multiple times, we want to see the trunk go first. The pelvis, then the trunk, then the shoulder, then the hand. So we have to create time between each of those parts of the delivery. And so you can see here, there's not a whole lot of timing going on or difference in timing between the trunk and the pelvis, right? Or the hand, honestly. They're all kind of moving together. So one way to delay that is to be focused on being smoother with our handbrake and like letting our arms flow and allowing everything to stay relaxed in our upper body so the hips can continue to rotate more until we start to flip up. That way when we land, we're a lot more closed at full foot plant instead of being about right here. And so that way, see how the hips haven't really rotated that much? And I know your body eval with your hips, you have a lot of internal rotation. So you have the ability to be able to get in a more, have that back hip turned in more with your hip, with your chest close. So if I could get this chest position right here, and then this lower body, hey, you're cooking, brother. You're cooking. All right. So again, most important thing I want to focus on is learning to be smoother with the handbrake and relax. And how long can I delay my chest before allowing my upper body to kind of open up and rotate? So I think I'll give you a couple of drills to work on, but that's an easy fix. I do want to see possibly get the glove a little bit higher. I'm not sure where this glove going down started, but again, that's totally normal for somebody who hasn't played baseball in 2 years. You pick up some weird habits sometimes. But let's dive into the video from 2021 and just see the difference here, okay? So you can already tell a difference. You're definitely bigger and stronger in this one, but let's see why this is a couple miles an hour harder. So as you lift your leg, pretty decent drift. Could be a little more, but not going to complain. You can see here you got a lot more shoulder tilt here, or lateral flexion, as some of these doctors would like to say. But you're keeping the head back, going into that good load phase and then dry phase, as you can see here. Really good job of staying back while we drive towards our target. But if you watch, let me clear those arrows. Watch the glove in the hand here. Now I know, oh, sorry, wrong video, but see how long and easy everything is? And what that's doing, that's giving your body more time to stay sideways while the hips rotate. Okay? So if I go into front, if I go into this position right here, okay, let's see where the arm is. I want to match that up with this video. Okay, close. Pretty close. All right, now let's link them up and see if there's a difference. 1 click, 2 click. So you're already on the ground and starting to flip up here on the right, whereas here you haven't even hit the ground and your arm still has a little bit of internal rotation left. Okay, you see how it's facing the ground? That's great. Now if I go 1 more click, boom, now you've landed mid-foot, okay? So you landed mid-foot there. Now, see how you're staying back instead of 1 more click? Now you're at full foot strike and you're still farther back compared to this video at full foot strike. See how more on top of your front leg you are? It's going to be harder to rotate and have a lead leg block like that. But in this video, it's great. So moving on from that, by the time you've landed and flipped up completely, so your arm, when I say flipped up, your arm's at a perfect 90-degree angle. Looks like the chest may be slightly open, but if you look at the back hip, look how much the back hip is rotated in. Okay, you got a very stable front leg. The back hip's almost finished rotating. Let me clear those arrows now. We're going to go from 1 click from that. Okay, boom. Now look, The back hip is completely cleared, so it's still facing on touching the ground, so that's awesome. From here, you should start to see a lead leg block, which I just mentioned earlier. So let's watch. Let's watch the lead leg block. Boom. See that? And now your lead leg block is starting from behind your head right here. Okay? And you see how the back foot isn't shooting up either? So great job, great sequence. Compared to in this video over here, but your lead leg block is happening. Well, if you can't really see, let me change colors. Try red. Right here. All right. Boom. So again, this is just a timing issue. You have the right idea. You've done this 100 times. It's just sometimes people getting funky deliveries after rehab and not throwing for a while. So I would say moving forward, I'm going to give you a couple of drills, like I said. Two things. Main thing I want to work on is I want to work on being relaxed with our upper body, letting the arm flow into scap retraction, let our hands flow as we take it out, taking the glove a little more higher up, and then practice on landing mid-foot. But other than that, I'd say you have the right idea as far as mechanics goes, and you're on the right path. So let's stay at it, and we'll be in touch. See ya.